go ahead and move with agenda item 3. Councilman Ransom, did you have a comment to make or before we read the actual agenda item 3 in?
I do have a comment, but go ahead and read it in.
Thank you. Agenda item 3 is consideration of approval of a one-time expenditure of up to $8,000 to remove the abandoned home located at 43 North Sandhill Boulevard and other matters properly related thereto. This is Mr. Baker. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Chair, board members, Aaron Baker, Interim Economic Development Redevelopment Director. I had a few items I wanted to go over on this. First is that you saw this item originally at tech review a week ago. The item was listed as a lien on the property for the full cost. In talking to the property owner later that afternoon, there was a change. She wanted to go to a different route rather than the lien. And so now you're seeing the item as a 50-50 split. So if you're wondering, I saw the tech review as one thing and now it's another. That's what happened with that one. So that being said, on that, there's a little bit of history on the change of the agenda item. This house has a lot of history associated with it. I think you're well aware of that. Through the years, people have talked about doing something with the property. What that something is kind of vague and ambiguous. So tonight we have a series of decisions, shall I say, available to you. Multiple tiers. As you deliberate and discuss, the first tier of decision in my mind is, does this house need to be torn down or not? That's a yes or a no question. If no, then the item can stop right there. If yes, then the next question is, how do we go about doing that? And there are 3 possible options. I think they're the 3 most viable options. The first option is to let the property owner do it. And quite frankly, that's, I think, the most attractive option in any situation, because then the taxpayer is not put at risk as a collective, but as an individual. They are responsible for the property. It protects the taxpayers, removes the blight, and improves aesthetics. Downsides to that, though, provides a slower timetable, and it does mean that there will be continued demand on city resources in the way of police and such to assist people with that property, shall we say. Second option would be to lien the property, one of the previous options that was discussed as well. It does improve the aesthetics, removes blight, and the city does, or the RDA does, recoup 100% of the money. Some of the downsides to that is if RDA funds are used, not general fund money, the property owner is not paying into tax district 902 or 903. They are in 901. I think that's a fact that's been established. And then the next question I have is, where does it stop? If this is declared and we're going to lien this property by declaring it a nuisance, what about the next one, the next one, the next one? So, and then it creates a long-term relationship, long-term obligation between the city and this property owner with no fixed timeline. And then there is that question of general fund versus RDA on that one as well. The item you have before you tonight is, the third option is a split, a 50-50 cost split. Now there are some pros and cons to this one as well. One is it does improve the aesthetics. It's done immediately. There is no long-term obligation between the city and the property owner. The owner has a vested financial interest in the deal. Traditionally, the programs are structured such that in the downtown area, it's a 75-25 split. This is a 50-50, and the owner has agreed to go this route. This is what they would like to do in talking to them. And you can deduce why. Some cons on this is an exception. It is. It's an exception to what we've done before. We've never done this. And it's an exception even further in that we've never split the cost 50-50. We've always made them front 100% and then come back and we reverse 50%. This would be a straight 50-50. Half the bill goes to us, half the bill goes to them. And that it is a slippery slope in the sense of precedent. And there is no potential to recoup in the sense of there is no planned project that would benefit the whole area. It would just be benefiting the 0.21 acre lot right there. So they aren't paying in. So with that, that's kind of an overview of some of the decisions and some of the options.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Mr. Rapson, Councilman Rapson, I'm sorry.